Hello everyone, it's another week, it's another Sunday, it's another Anachronism. Yes, we have Arminius, and last week, the Native American one, it was just butchered, but this time, Arminius. I can actually pronounce these names. It's German, it's Latin. Yeah, let's give it a try. Well, it is German, of course, because it is a Germanic warrior. And it is Latin because it is in Roman times, as we can see it here. Arminius, oh my goodness, I know quite some things about this time, this event actually. So I can actually go on a bit deeper into the lore if we miss something or if we need some clarifications to do. Because it's about the Romans and... My profession, I study to become a history teacher, but I really want to study history, ancient history, Roman history, archaeology, stuff like that. So when I'm done with the education, I will continue on my path. And since Emperor Augustus is my favorite emperor of the bunch, this fits right in. Let's just start. Arminius. Or, as the Germans would have him called, right about now, quite anachronistic, as we say, Hermann Arminius. We have a grid over here, -1 to the right, +1 on the left, and a +0 in the front. 8 health, 3 speed, 5 experience, 1 strength. He is a Germanic warrior, a male, and he has Waldscharmützel. After you take an action to move, your next attack and defense rolls gain +1. Now, what is he all about? I know it, but I'm going to tell you guys. Returning from military training in Rome to the Cherusci homeland, he raised a great army to fight against the advancing Roman armies. In the Teutoburger Wald, he delivered to Rome her most crushing defeat, as 3 entire legions vanished overnight and were never heard from again. This was by far one of the most traumatic experiences that Rome has endured during the reign of the emperors. Of course, we have the sack of Rome early on in the history of Rome, which is quite demonized by the populace of Rome. But this was a disaster. Rome was at a point in history where Emperor Augustus, he was the first emperor, and he actually, he modernized some elements of the army, like armor, and continued on the discipline and the training that Marius had enforced at one point. And the Romans, they went on to, basically just collect tribute from the Germanic tribes, push the border, try to push the border more to the north, quell Germanic insurrections and everything. And Arminius was trained by the Romans, switched sides all of a sudden. Well, not all of a sudden, of course, there's more going on there. And defeated 3 entire legions in an ambush in the Teutoburger Wald, which is located in Germany. It is said that Emperor Augustus would wake up screaming from nightmares, dripping in sweat, screaming, "General Varus, bring me back my legions." And maybe we will see something like that as well. This was traumatic. It was the first actual very big defeat for the Imperial Roman army. Let's continue. Tiwas, a Germanic inspiration, a deity, for 9 inspiration, I keep forgetting that. For 9, whatever it's called. I'll get to that. Freier Himmel, free heavens. After any player makes a critical hit, you may discard this card. If you do, the hit damages the attacker instead of the defender. God of War and the patron god of justice, Tiwaz, is the oldest of the gods, inspiring courage and heroism in battle. He sacrificed his right hand to bind the wolf Fenrir, who, if set free, would devour the sun. At the day of Ragnarök, he will die from his battle wounds, but not before he slays the hound Garm, the guardian of hell. Yes, in other mythology, in Norse mythology, we would call him Tyr. This is Tiwaz, and yeah, actually, we use him every single week, or even more than every single week, because the name Tuesday is derived from Tiwaz. It is Tiwaz Day, Tuesday, the day of the god of war. And even in Dutch, we used to have him as well as a god. In Dutch, Tuesday is Dinsdag. Yeah, these mythologies are really close together. So this really hits home for me. Right, Tiwaz, there he is. Then we have Arminius Standard, the standard of Arminius. 2 strength. Ooh, it is a weapon, a bludgeon weapon. Look at that. It has a grid over here, -1 to the front, +0s to the side. 2 initiative, that's the word I was looking for, initiative. And we have the doorslagende Massenandrung. All right, doorslagende trampling, Massenandrung. Is that something like a masses crowd control, something like that? Right, and it says attacks with this weapon deal +2 damage if the defense roll is less than the defender's initiative. All right, cool. Yeah, the reason I cannot really translate it is it's in German. I know German, but I'm not that well versed in German that I actually know everything, because I'm Dutch, and Dutch and German are quite similar, but not all of it. So let's take a look at the flavor text here. Using a wide array of weapons, the forces of Arminius crushed attacking Roman legions led by Varus, Caecina, and by Germanicus himself. Yes, Varus was the general that Augustus would shout out to bring back his legions. Caecina, just another leader of that army, and Germanicus. And I think Germanicus here is referenced to be the father of the later emperor Caligula, which was really just a favorite for the army. He was favorite in the army, and he was going to be emperor one day until he died, and his kid Caligula was brought forth. Right. Oh, that is cool. For 4, we have 4 initiative, of course. We have the Rüstung der Römisches Hilfstruppen, which is the armor of the Roman auxiliary. Basically, yeah, that's it. And yeah, they got their own pieces of armor because they needed to be protected. It is a Germanic armor torso. Leichtgewichtig, lightweighted. Your defense rolls gain +1. If you are missed by an attack and your defense roll is less than the attacker's experience, gain +1 speed on your next turn. Alrighty. Although foreign troops in the employ of Rome were not as well equipped as the Roman legionaries, when rebellion occurred, the effectiveness of even light Roman armor was made readily apparent. Yeah, and that can be seen in quite some periods during Roman history. I mean, you could even say that the rebellion of the slaves, Spartacus, in the 80s before Christ, proved to be difficult because they were trained in the art of gladiatorism. They had weapons, they had armor, they had all these kind of stuff. And of course, it wasn't as good as the Roman legionaries, and they weren't as trained as the Roman legionaries, but it was still quite hard to get through them. And that's the same with Arminius, and later it would be the same with Attila the Hun, who would eventually, bring the troops to Rome and just force Rome to its knees. Tragic history. Rome would be lost forever. Right, de Rüstung der römischen Hilfstruppen. And then we have Varus Schlacht, the slaughter of Varus, Varus, as we would say. For 2 initiative, it is a location, a special location, and it has the ability Waldlande, which is woodlands, basically. And after your opponent uses a card ability to move their warrior, ooh, that's nice with previous week's Tecumtha. Gain +1 speed on your next turn. Ooh. So you basically just track the enemy across the woods. Although promising to support Varus's advance into Teutoburg or Wald, the Cherusci had no such intentions. The ghosts of Varus's legions are still set to haunt the depths of the forest. Yeah, later on, the eagle that was lost would be retrieved. Romans would be left there just to rot away. And if you go there, you can still find, if you just look hard enough, you can still find traces, artifacts from this time. Right, and that is it for Arminius. I love talking about this one because my expertise lies here in Imperial Roman history, in the late Republican history. Very important character here for both Germanic history and Roman history. And it was a blast. Love talking about it. Right, so thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and join my Patreon if you haven't done so already. It really helps out the channel to make more of these videos, because this is my favorite thing to open, really, or talk about. Oh, even more so than other booster boxes and everything. And that's it. Thank you all very much for watching. Join the list of Patreons here. Thank you, all of them. And see you all next time. Bye-bye.